Hello and welcome everyone to the analysis of Prime Cat 7. Uh, Before we begin with the actual analysis of the paper, I would want to ask all of you about how is it that you felt about the paper? What is your first impression? And in the meantime, I'll also ask GP sir and Siddharth sir, who are with me here. What was your impression, GP sir?
I can already see a couple of feedback coming from students. Worst VRC ever in this mock, my QA has gone quite bad, and so from students' point of view, it seems to be a poor paper. But I would say, when I look at DILR, I think it was a paper in which you should have done 3 sets. Worst case, 2 sets. 2 sets were definitely doable, and one could have easily done 3 sets. Similarly, if I look at Quant, I don't think Quant was difficult. While some of the students are saying it was difficult or not, they did not do well. I would say again there were about 8 to 10 questions you could comfortably have solved with Jugaad or without Jugaad. There were about 8 to 10 easy questions. That is what one should be looking at. If you are getting anything less than 30 in this particular paper in QA, I think you have done a poor job of this paper. Okay. DILA, I would say slightly on the easier side. QA, I would say was okay. That's the kind of paper we get in CAT nowadays, so that shouldn't be an issue at all. Siddharth, what would you say about verbal? I have not gone through the verbal section.
I'm really surprised that people are saying that this VARC was bad because I have seen worse VARC also. This wasn't bad. I think it was. I mean, if you look at the entire section, there were a lot of questions in which one could have easily eliminated the option and marked the answer. I understand that the passages were quite diverse, so maybe that could be one problem. But then I think that overall VARC was not as bad. Anybody who reads consistently could have got around 30-35 marks.
I think I have a similar feeling with respect to VRC. It is the problem may have existed because of passages on philosophy and couple of them which were based on literature as such, which may be difficult areas to read or not very familiar areas to read about. That is where people may have struggled in VRC. Nevertheless, let's get directly into the analysis part of it. So if you go through the overall submissions, there were 1680 submissions by today afternoon when I checked for this particular mock, and I think it at the higher ranks, at the higher percentile, it maps beautifully with CAT 2021, where at the lower percentiles, this paper can be considered easier than probably CAT 2021 if we are getting at 59 marks and 90 percentile in CAT 2021, and in this paper it was about 71 marks. I am assuming the paper must have been a little easier on that side for this, but across all the three sections. So, what any comments here, GP sir? So you're on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was saying that as far as the DILR is concerned, given that it was slightly easy, I think scores have gone up a little. But beyond that, I would say what you have said is sufficient. Okay. When you look at that 90 percentile or anything else, just go to the previous slide. Sorry, Ravi. Yeah, look at that 90 percentile, 71 in prime cat versus cat 21 at about 59 or 58. Okay, so that clearly indicates slightly easier paper. And the challenge would be the fourth set of DILR or going beyond a certain number of questions in QA. And so till about let's say, which is what is visible out here, till about 99 odd percentile, the scores are in this paper are slightly higher. After that, they tend to come down because then you are hitting the difficult questions. Okay, so two things. One, either it is possibly the slightly easier DILR, or alternately, it could be that people have been able to identify the right questions to attempt. Though when I'm looking at the student comments, VRC still seems to be an issue. Yeah.
Right, and uh, what the people are saying, it is uh, you cannot find all three of these sections as bouncers because I took a live attempt of this paper of all the three sections. I have recorded VRC, DILR, and QA all three in 40 minutes and try to solve as many questions as I would, just like I would do in the CAT. You may refer to that live attempt and probably take help from the strategy that I follow as well. So to begin with VARC, I think it is absolutely verbatim mapped to CAT 2020. It may be slightly easier, CAT 2020 and CAT 2021. It is just at all scores, which are especially at higher scores, you can see that the mapping is exactly almost the same, just like CAT 2020 or CAT 2021. In that sense of the word, I feel that the passages that were there in this particular mock were more or less, in competition with what you would find in a paper like CAT. And Siddharth sir has recorded the solutions for VARC. Siddharth sir, what are your comments about uh, the passages that were there? So this is the overall
Uh,
analysis.
See, firstly, students are asking that how to attempt. I'm sure they must have attended a lot of analysis from Gijo. So how I do it is I solve the VA questions first and then the RC passages, because I believe that VA questions are easier, especially the summary type questions. So that is how I start with it. Now let us talk about the passages first, because you asked me about passages. So see, when I read the passages were not very easy, because as you said, the topics were from philosophy or literature. The passages were not very easy. However, I think the questions were very easy as far as the options are concerned. From that point of view, I will like to comment on the fourth passage, that is the Japanese literature one. All the four questions, one could have easily eliminated the options and get to the right answer. I think accuracy level is also higher. If I can look at the graph, then in that particular passage, it looks that accuracy level is higher as compared to other, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. The accuracy levels in the fourth passage are higher as compared to the others. However, if
Yeah.
you look at the attempt rate, it is lower than the other passages.
That possibly could be the reason. I mean, the reason could be that people were either they spent their time in the three passages and the VA part. That's what I assume. But that was the easier passage to attempt. Now, as a student, it is always difficult to know or pick which passage to attempt or which not to attempt. What I will suggest is, for those who aren't able to complete all the four passages in say 30 minutes time, you should look at the questions more than the passage. What kind of question is being asked? So passage 3, two questions were very direct in nature, and passage 4, I think three questions were very direct in nature. So that is the way I will suggest to look at it. So that passage should have been attempted.
So 2 out of 4 here and 3 out of 4 here, and probably a couple questions here and 1 or 2 questions here.
Exactly.
I think
Right.
8 to 9,
Right.
getting 8 to 9 questions out of 16 was not very difficult a task when it comes to the RC's part of it. What's your take on VA? We see that the attempt rates in VA are high. However, the accuracy rates in VA for quite a lot of questions is very low.
See, let me pick the summary type questions first, because I think they are the easiest one to to solve. It's very similar to the main idea question which we do in the passages. Uh, I personally I felt that the last summary type question, none of the option was correct, and I think accuracy rate also suggests that. But that is my opinion. So according to me, none was correct. There was one summary type question in which two options were very close, and those who have got it wrong, they need to remember that mistake, because in CAT you will find those kind of options being framed lot of time. So please remember that mistake that you have committed in that question. I think was on existentialism, I believe.
Let me just showcase that question itself.
Yeah.
So this one,
No, this is, I think, none of the option according to me is right in this.
this one, 22.
Yeah, this one. In this option number 2 and 3 were close. I think answer is option number 3. 2 although we can say indirectly it is trying to say, but 3 is more direct in nature. You can watch my video solutions. I have given my detailed video solution that why 3 is a better choice than 2. And I will like all these students to remember this kind of thing, because this is being done in CAT lot of time. So this, in this, 2 options were closed, and the other para summary was very straightforward. There was nothing in it. Anybody who reads the passage properly would have been able to attempt it. So summary type, I will say that at least uh, one everybody should have got right. So maybe 2 marks in the summary type questions, I will suggest. Now, odd sentences, both were easy. Both were easy. Both followed a similar pattern. Usually, see, odd sentences have 3-4 patterns the way they set the question paper. Here, what was there in odd sentences was all the 5 sentences were on the same topic. The content was same, but 4 were talking about one idea on the same content, and one was different, talking about different idea. So that was easy. I think both the odd sentences people should have got right. Para jumbles, out of 3, one was very simple, one was moderate, and one was difficult. That was my take. So I believe
Easy.
that somebody should have got at least 4 right, maybe 10 marks, at least 10 marks in the VARC part, in the VA part, not RC part, sorry.
10 marks from the VA part and about 27 to 30 marks in the RC part.
Yeah, if you take into factor negative marking, then 22, 23 marks in the RC should be there.
So 22 to 23 over here and 10 over here. That would still make you land at 32, 33. And at 32, 33, you would have crossed that 90th percentile barrier.
No, well, Ravi, that's what the thing that is concerning me in this particular mock. Why people are not being able to score more? They need to understand how to eliminate the option. Had the paper been difficult, I would have said that it was difficult. Options were closed, but in this paper it wasn't. So so it's very important that they watch the solutions, and if not watch the solution, they sit with their teachers at their local centers or whatever, but they try to understand how to eliminate the option, because the paper was about elimination, this particular section.
You said
Siddharth, I
can't hear.
think, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Ravi, from your side, there's some echo which is coming. I think just check करो YouTube तुम्हारा वॉल्यूम पे तो नहीं है ऊपर या
No, no, no.
either you or Siddharth कहीं से आ रही है आवाज. Okay, but
It's
let's continue. Uh, okay, see, end of the day, elimination is a technique which most students need to learn. And one of the things which needs to be looked at is whatever is not connected can be straight away eliminated. And to that extent, Siddharth, maybe you need to do a couple of papers, the solutions, a couple of more solutions given by you probably will help students understand the technique of elimination. And I have been saying this, but I will also do it for the next paper. So the idea is that one way is the classical way, which is the comprehension, and which is what Gijo talks about. And second thing is also elimination. So it is not either or to me. I have to go for comprehension. I have to go for elimination, both of them. And if you can combine the two of them, only then you get a very high score. If you go by only one of them, you'll get stuck at about 25, 30, 32, which means a 95 odd percentile is where you'll probably get stuck by and large, unless you are very terrific in terms of reading comprehension. But if you are someone who's good in reading comprehension and English, but not able to eliminate choices, then you'll usually get stuck with the 25 with 95 percentile. And this is where when students ask me, I get stuck between two choices. What should I do? That is where your elimination techniques work. Okay, so when you get stuck with two choices, that is the place you need to say which one can be eliminated because of which word in the answer choice. If you can get a hang of that, that is what is going to be helpful for you.
JP sir, can you take this question?
Had Siddharth sir replaced Jijo sir, or both are part of CL? Karthik, you have seen Siddharth for the first time. That's not our fault. Yes, in the last few papers, he has not been here, but Siddharth is from XLRI. He's been part of Career Launcher. He's heading Career Launcher Bhilai, and he's been part of Career Launcher for over 10 years. Siddharth, how many years now?
13 years.
13 years, yeah. I was
And I
thinking
think
he
Jijo is
2008
following us
time
on
ke aaspas
YouTube.
tha, but I was not sure. Hmm.
Jijo is here with us on YouTube. He's watching this live.
अच्छा तो जीजो छुट्टी मना रहा है चलो ठीक है चलो कोई बात नहीं
Right.
but Ismail and Nana, I'm a little surprised when I look at the passages. Again, when I look at the second, third, and fourth passage, I see forget about the accuracy. I think the attempt rate seem to be very low. Attempt rate seem to be very low, and I would want students to go back to their time analysis and check out how much time did they spend in each of the verbal questions. Because if the attempt rate in the passage third and fourth is low, we are talking about less than 50% attempts. That means the students have wasted time somewhere and hence not been able to do it, especially those of you who did verbal first. Please check, did you waste a lot of time in verbal? Because if you have wasted a lot of time in verbal and the way Siddharth does the paper, I also do the same thing. I do verbal first and then come back to RC. But so when you're doing verbal first, the onus is on you to make sure you don't just keep spending more and more time. And for those of you who've done verbal first, that is, I think, something critical. I'm actually disappointed in this paper based on the attempt rate for the passage 3 and 4. And especially passage 3 and 4 had 5 questions which were easy. So those have been missed out by the students.
So, by the way, it is not a mandate that because Siddharth sir attempts VA first or GP sir attempts VA first, you also attempt VA first. See,
No,
please try and
Jijo starts
understand
from question 1 and goes up to question 24 sequentially.
that, that's exactly how I go about it as well. So, it is not a mandate that you follow a particular strategy. In the mocks that you are taking, follow two, three, try to, for a couple of mocks, try something. For a couple of other mocks, try something. And find out which is the best thing that is working for you, right? What is the best fit for you, and according to that decide on what strategy you want to finally implement in the paper, so that you
Okay.
are clear by the month of September what works for you. Then in the months of October and November, whatever mocks you take as well as the cat that you are going to take in November, you should ideally be following that strategy.
Ravi, I think there's a question I would like to take. Two questions from Arnav. They're connected to each other. The first one is saying I'm not able to do 1.5 minutes per question in verbal, and the connected to that obviously is how to do verbal in 12 minutes. Arnav, there's no standard formula. I would say if you are struggling with verbal in 12 minutes, please go back to those questions again. You would know which of these questions you spend time. For example, when I do verbal first, I don't do all, I just leave parajumbles first. I do parasummary and odd statement because I know those 5 questions I will typically be able to do in 7, 8 minutes. Then I will go and do RC and then come back doing verbal and parajumble in the end. Why parajumble in the end? That's my weakest area. So all I'm doing is I'm doing my strong areas first. Parasummary and odd statement I typically get right most of the time, and then I go to RC and parajumble, which is my not my strongest area. I keep it for the end. So just check Anna and for the others also, which are those question types where you are spending extra time. Maybe you could stop doing those, and so that you are not wasting too much time. Okay. So Arnav, when you okay, just completing the Arnav issue because that is something most people have talked about. I think in parasummary most of the time. So is it analysis paralysis? So in one reading, you have not understood the answer. Maybe it is time to leave it and move on. Just go through those questions again and see was it worth spending that extra time in these questions. Okay.
GB sir, I will like to talk about one thing. When people are reading, what are they focusing upon when they read? So when I read a passage or I attempt a para summary question or whatever I do, I mean passage and para summary, I'm talking about here. I focus on the statements which has author's opinion. Rest all things are irrelevant to me. As far as the comprehension is concerned, my only objective is to find out what author is saying about particular topic. There are 60 to 70% statements which are just written to support those opinionated statements. So focus on those. If you can identify those statements, then I think your accuracy will be taken care of as far as those questions are concerned wherein you are fixed between two options. So why we are not able to attempt a para summary or RC in 30 minutes time, 4 RCs, is because we do not focus on the right things that we need to read, or right statements that we need to focus upon. Of course, there is a way to do it. I am just giving you a hint that try. Your intention should be clear that what is the purpose that for which you are reading. There are only two purposes for which you need to read. One is to identify the main idea. and the other is to identify the structure of the passage which author has used to arrive at the main idea. That is what I do.
Chalo. Okay.
Moving on to the DILR section. So people are saying that this is tough. It is tough at the higher end, but it is almost in the same range as it was in CAT 20 and CAT 2021 in the lower range. That means getting to the 80th percentile should not have been difficult, because there were a couple of sets in DILR when I took it as a student. When I attempted it in 40 minutes also, I realized that there were a couple of sets which were definitely doable, especially the set 2 and set 4, the 4 question sets that were there. If you have a little bit of idea about ratios and the number of solutions you can have, or a little bit of idea about pie charts, I think the fourth set was right there sitting to get attacked. And I think those two sets at least were doable, and I think any score less than 24 in this paper is actually not acceptable to my mind. But any which way, if you have, you know I'm pretty sure those of you who looked at the fourth set would have solved the fourth set. The problem would have been with not being able to reach there. You can see that the attempt rate is 80% for the fourth set, the pie chart that was there.
Even second set was fairly easy. I'm surprised at the attempt level for second set. I would have thought that the third set the is what people should have left, which is also reflecting here. But second set, I thought the attempt rate could have been higher. Second and fourth are almost the same level of difficulty. Maybe you could say the fourth set is slightly more easier, but set two was also equally easy. It actually, this paper reminded me of CAT 2021. My slot, second slot, two sets very easy. First set of data was the same level of difficulty as one of the sets, and the fourth set of data was fairly difficult. So two easy, one moderate, one difficult was, and that is what this is. So I would say the two sets are shade easier than the actual CAT material, actual CAT data sets. Okay.
Right.
Uh,
In fact, if
and-
you look at the coffee wala question, it is similar to CAT 2021 slot 3. There was a question which was very, very similar to this about the mixtures and all. I think, GP sir, I think the problem over here would have been कि यार पहला सेट कैसे छोड़ दे, वो 6 क्वेश्चन का है.
देखो मैं तो उल्टा शुरू किया. I started solving. I first solved set number 4, then solved set number 2, then came to set number 1. And set number 1, the first question that almost 75% of the students have got right, I solved with the help of choices, which helped me save a lot of time. So the first question in set 1 was a giveaway as to what you should be, as to it give you the starting point at least, if not the complete solution. Okay. So, but हाँ, challenge है, अच्छी चीज ये fourth set almost everyone has attempted, which I think is fair. I hope they have not started looking at the paper in the reverse.
May have happened, because they may have guessed the pattern कि ये लोग easy set हमेशा last में रखते हैं.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
So this was the first set,
Yeah.
which I think this was a question that anyone could have answered, because it was given as a point here that B and H scored 40% in exactly one paper.
Uh, yeah, absolutely right. So my point is, did you mark the answer after solving the set, or did you use this question to solve the set? Okay, so Ravi, if you just go back just to explain that point further, if you go back to that first slide, yeah, the first one, B and H scored exactly 40% in one paper. That means either paper one or paper two will be 40%. Paper one 40% is 120. Paper two 40% will be 240. 400 plus 200 600. So that means this should be 200. So either this is 120 or this is 200. The choice called 120 is missing in paper one. That particular question. That means the other one has to be 200. Secondly, it is 40% of there's no negative marking. The answer has to be a multiple of 4. Okay. Now nothing much left. You can just mark the answer. So you can remove 90. Okay. Okay. You can remove 90. It is either 76 or 84, 80, 76 or 84. Okay. Now using rest of the stuff, you will be able to get the answer fast. Okay. There's
Absolutely.
some more
Here,
one.
H doesn't have 240 over here. H must score 120. It was given that B will score 20 marks less than H. That means
So you
B's
will
score
get,
had to be a multiple of 10.
yes, multiple of 10 and 4 both.
Right.
Only one.
That had to be the answer.
Okay. So now that you have this information, it becomes that much more easier to fill up rest of the table. Okay. So to me, this was a difficult set. I would not say easy set, but out of this, I'm disappointed with 3 wrongs. Or the error rate in this is fairly high. Okay. But to me, this was a good start point for this paper. This particular data set. Sorry.
This one, the coffee canteen wala set was probably lying there to be milked. I think I thought this was fairly easy to solve this
Very
question.
easy, Ravi. Very easy. Which is why I was surprised that the number of attempts or the attempt rate of this particular set seemed to be very low. This was
Absolutely.
almost an oral data set, I would say.
Because we had to create nothing. We had to create no table at all. We had to just read the points and go to the questions because the total, all of the questions are cases. That means
Yeah.
we only had to understand the data set in like 2 to 3 minutes and then go and solve questions. The good part about caselets, case-based question is that in one particular question you feel that the case banana iska mushkil hai, then you leave that particular question, but you solve the remaining three. That is very much possible in a case-based question. That may not be possible in an entire arrangement table-based question. So these are the kind of questions I typically look for in the paper. Third set, I would also agree with GP sir's notion. In fact, when I was taking the attempt, I came to the third set after some point in time, and I decided not to solve it in the paper because there were 40 grids to be 32 grid points to be filled with 40 different data points. So I thought this is not probably something that I will do today.
Mm, mm.
And I think going to the fourth question, this was pretty much easy and very could have been solved orally. So anyone who missed out on this particular set, I can see that there are 80% of people who have not who have attempted this set. 20% of people have missed out on this particular set. You have missed out on a lot in the paper, is what I could say.
So selection of questions was not difficult as far as this data set or this paper was concerned. I would say second and fourth is your attempt. If you have time, go for first set of data. After that, you will probably not have time to do anything else. If you pick up the third set of data, I'm sure you'll struggle.
So
Okay.
that was about DILR. So I've recorded an attempt for DILR also, guys. You may watch the attempt and just see how it helps you. I'm pretty sure it should help at least a little major part of you because that is how I go about taking the paper, and it is something that has helped me over the years. You may use that strategy if that fits with you. Going to the QA section, I think QA section was marginally, in fact, not marginally, it was comparatively easier than CAT 20 and CAT 2021 were both because getting to this point was not difficult. Getting 24, 25 marks in this paper was not at all difficult. And that is exactly what the graph will also talk about. There was a group of questions, a chunk of questions in the middle that were very, very easy. But unfortunately, again, the number of attempts to that is pretty much low in the middle.
Mm. And actually, Ravi, I'm surprised with the second question. I thought question number 2 was a sitter. Question 46, that is.
Just a second.
Mm.
This one?
No, not visible. Yeah. All you need to do is substitute. X plus 5 upon 3 should be equal to minus 1 upon x plus 1. X square is equal to 4 means x could be either plus 2 or minus 2. Check. Substitute. That's all you need to do. I am still wondering why is it just because it is log you leave does not make sense to me. That's what it's saying, na? Rather than solve, if x is plus 2 or minus 2, you can. And okay, I think the mistake people would have committed, I'm sure many students would have marked the answer as choice 4. Base 1 is not possible. If x is equal to 2 or minus 2, what happens when x is minus 2? Yeah, you get a base of 1. Yeah. So base 1 is not possible, which is why choice 1 goes away. Plus 2 does not satisfy. Minus 4, I think, satisfies. But either way, to me, the issue is this is a question which you should do purely by substitution. If you're solving this question, you're wasting your time. The previous question, you could have drawn the figure and got the answer.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think many students would have marked the answer as choice 4.
Yeah. That is a possibility. Even if you solve this quadratic over here, you're going to get minus 2 and minus 4 as the two solutions. So that may
I
have
still need to
probably
verify.
towards 4
Yeah,
and
yeah.
16.
And which is why I don't like solving quadratic equation, because after solving quadratic equation, I still need to verify whether those values are right or not. So when I have the values, why should I not use them? And in this kind of a question, you have to first check choice 1 and 3. After that, worry about choice 2. Because when you
Because
have a
either
choice
one or
called
three,
either 1 or 3, that means those are the critical choices for me. I will check choice 1 first, then choice 3. Once that does not satisfy, no issues, go for choice 3. That gives you the answer, end of the story. Okay.
I think there is a series of comments on YouTube who are saying that it was a trap, it was a silly mistake in this question, I missed the domain and stuff.
Yeah, it's okay to make a mistake here, but I hope in future you will all remember log of base 1 is not defined. So that is the purpose of these papers, to help you identify where all you make mistakes so that you don't repeat them. So it is perfectly fine making mistakes here, as long as you don't repeat them. I think this
Sir,
one people would have struggled.
any take on this question?
This is a question which you can do very fast if you understand the logic. End of the day, I would say in this one, when you look at these two people, Meera and Neeta, the ratio of number of what should I say? What is given by one is returned by the other. Okay. So Ravi, just write it down. Just write down. Let Meera be x. Okay. No, not x. Right. Meera is 6x, 9x. Meera is 9x. Meera is 9x initially, and let Neeta be 3y. Okay. Now, what does Meera do? Meera gives away 6x. So after that, it becomes 3x on the left hand side and 6x plus 3y on the right hand side, right? And now she gives away 2/3. What is will she give away? She'll give us away 4y plus 4x plus 2y. That should solve the solution. That should give you the solution. 4x plus 2y should be equal to 6x, because what is being given by one is being returned by the other. Only then the ratios will remain the same. 4x plus 2y. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So 4x plus 2y should be equal to 6x will give the ratio of x and y.
X is to y is 1. Now
X is
some people might have a question. Why did I take 9x and 3y? The reason I took 9x is because 2/3 has to be given away. Okay. And 3y की जगह 9y भी हो सकता तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ना था. But 9x का 2/3 देना था, इसलिए मैंने उसको करा. और कोई reason नहीं है.
absolutely.
Okay. But this was a good question to leave. If you have left this question, I would say good choice. In future, you should be able to do this question. But before this paper, I think this would have been a good question to leave. This was a sitter. But I'm sure many people would have marked the answer as choice 2 and not 3. Anyone who's marked the answer as choice 2, you have not read the question carefully. The number of straight lines, Ravi, can you underline the keyword, including these two? No, the next, yeah, this including these two is the word which many people would have missed out. Okay. चलो आगे चलते हैं. बाकी easy questions. Okay, this is a
This one,
pattern question. Yeah.
this one seemed difficult, but this was a Fibonacci sequence question,
Ah,
and you could literally write down the first 12 terms and find out.
yeah, that's what I did. Just start writing down, you'll get the answer. Just go to the next one. Okay, okay. You wanted to do that?
नहीं
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 ठीक
ऐसे
है.
भी- yeah.
आगे चलो फिर उसमें चलते हैं. Go to question 55. I think there's a simple ratios question. This should not be an issue. This is I hope you remember 30, 60, 90 right triangle. The ratio of sides is 1 is to root 3 is to 2. You have a equilateral. You have a hexagon. Sorry.
So this is root 3. This side is given as root 3.
Yeah. So each of those triangle, that angle D is 120 degrees. So if you bisect that, you'll get a 30, 60, 90 triangle. No, not this one, Ravi.
This
Yeah.
one is a 36.
Yeah. So you can easily find the side of this of the triangle. So remember your 30, 60, 90 right triangle.
So this is 1 is to. So the radius becomes 1.
Yeah.
Or the side of the hexagon becomes 1.
Just go to question 57. Next one, Ji. Yeah. Very good question. Very good question. Only one answer, one only choice 4 can be the answer. Nothing else can be the answer. Arithmetic mean of 1 over A and 1 upon B is A. The geometric mean of A and B is G. G is to 1 upon A is 5 is to 4. Okay. Now the ratio is an integer, 5 is to 4. G has to be an integer. Please check the choice. Which of these choice gives you an integer geometric mean? Okay, so I did not solve. To me, the geometric mean in first choice was, if the numbers are 1 and 2, geometric mean becomes root 2. Similarly to others. So I zeroed down on choice 4, verified that, and that becomes the answer for me. So 5 is to 4 is integer. G has to be an integer. Okay. You could also say, what if it is 5 under root x and 4 under root x? That is always possible theoretically. But who's going to put in so much effort to create such a question?
In my attempt, I left this question
कोई
because
बात नहीं, अगली बार कर देंगे.
I wrote down everything in this. I think again this was a sitter.
हाँ, 44%, 11% per day. 11% per day is done by A, B, C. Remaining job is complete. A and B do 56% in 8 days, so A and B do 7% per day. So C is 4% per day. I think all these questions should logically be done on percentage basis. It makes your life very, very easy.
Absolutely.
Question 64, I think. 52, 62, I hope people have approximated. Not this one. Not this one. Yeah, this one, I hope you have done approximation. The choices are fairly far apart. Okay, choices are fairly far, so approximation should have worked here. These are 3 successive increments of 12%, 14%, 16%. Should be more than 45%. That should have given you the answer. Okay. I hope लोगों ने किया है. Second last question. Ravi, can you go to the previous one? Now this is what I call a classic pattern kind of a question. Just write down A1, A2, A3, A4. You will find the pattern. If I remember correctly, A1 is given as 1. A2 comes out to be 3 by 7. 3 by 7, 3 by 11. Let me just see where I was
A3 is
done
3
it.
by 11. A2 is given 3 by 7.
A 3 by 7, A3 is 3 by 11, A4 is 3 by 15. You have got the pattern. Okay, so what will be A14? A4 denominator is 14. Sorry, you have A4. Okay. नहीं उतना मेरे को दिमाग नहीं लगाना अभी कि मैं नहीं लगाऊंगा मैंने कहा A4 पे डिनोमिनेटर में 15 आ गया है so A7 is another 3 common difference so A7 will
12
be
by
3 by 27 A9 will be 3 by 35 मेरे लिए इतना बहुत है मैं तो बस हो गया okay so to my mind these are very good questions to have because they look difficult but if you're just willing to write first 3-4 terms you will get the answer very fast. I think last वाला तो हो गया होगा. This was a straightforward question. उसमें भी choices देख के लोग हटा सकते थे answers.
Yeah, 10%
हाँ
compound interest 2 साल का दिया है. 1.32
हाँ
lakhs is already a multiple of 11.
हम्म हम्म
So that had to be there in the answer.
क्या ठीक है चलो so I wouldn't say anything else required here but the point I'm trying to make is these are good to see some of these questions people have attempted but my worry is still that in the second half of the paper the attempt rates have gone down significantly. Does that to me again means you have been wasting your time doing some of the questions initially you are still not able to leave the difficult questions 46 and 47 whether you got it right or wrong if you have spent a lot of time it is an issue and only 20% accuracy in 46 is one issue but what that's telling you is you did not know how to solve or it would have taken you in any case 3-4 minutes that was not a question you should have solved so maybe you need to just go back and look at those specific questions where you wasted time so that in future at least you know which are the question types you should not be worrying about.
I just have a question for all of you guys. Those of you attempted question 51 and have a terribly low accuracy rate there.
कौन सा था 51 यार
Did you commit the same mistake that I did? Did you consider this to be a circle? I just want to know. I committed that mistake in my attempt. I thought this was a circle and I got the wrong answer. Huh? Yes. Lot of people have done that, it seems.
हाँ हो जाता है ऐसे
Hmm.
रवि ये क्या है व्हाट इज सुपर चैट आई डोंट नो इज दिस
You
सुपर
can
चैट
give us.
व्हाट
I don't know it either.
I think you'll have to educate us on super chat what it is. Okay. ठीक है देखो वन थिंग इज गलती हो गई है ठीक है वन थिंग इज गलती हो गई है बट जस्ट फॉरगेट अबाउट इट हो गया है ठीक है गलती रिपीट नहीं होनी चाहिए टू मी द क्वेश्चन ऑलवेज इज it is okay to make a mistake it is not at all acceptable to repeat a mistake as long as you are not repeating a mistake you will keep on improving the problem happens when you keep repeating mistakes and that is where problem arises.
Saurabh has a question, sir. If we spend more than 2 minutes on a question, is it okay or is it illegal?
It is okay as long as you are getting it right again. Saurabh, please look at it this way. Um, as far as you are concerned, in a section, let's say, what is the target you are looking at? While I say normally don't worry about target, but let's address that issue. If you're saying normally I can do in 40 minutes 10 to 12 questions, that means you can spend about 3 minutes per question, which is fine. But if you say I want to do 16 questions that much time, then doing more than 2 minutes might be a challenge. Okay, so it's a function of what is it that you're looking at. रवि सुपर चैट कुछ पैसा भेजने की बात कर रहे थे यार लोग.
हाँ कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है.
हाँ मैं इसलिए ढूंढ रहा हूँ कहाँ पे क्या.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
In DILR, how to avoid silly mistakes when you have solved the set already?
Don't get excited by after solving the questions. If you are getting excited कि जल्दी हो गया, गलती तो होगी. So don't get excited, stay calm and don't rush. That जल्दी जल्दी करके अगला जाए, यही जो चीज है और कुछ नहीं है. This one we have. I'm still trying to find out ये super chat की कहानी का है. Someone had written that. Yeah. Super chat equal to people can send money to you. ये बहुत अच्छा feature है.
देखना
Is
पड़ेगा
one
इसको.
pay to feature their message. Okay. People pay to feature their message on the top. Oh. Okay. So रवि हम दोनों को नहीं मिलेगा, career launcher को मिलेगा. ठीक है ना सिद्धार्थ? ठीक है. Siddharth, did you go through the Quant and DILR sections?
No, sir. For this mock, I wasn't. I only did the
अच्छा.
VARC. So that's why I was not able to give much input here.
नहीं क्योंकि मनी भी most people know you as English faculty, they don't know you are equally good in Quant DILR also.
I love quant more than English, but somehow I am English faculty.
ऐसे ही होता है. Again, Jijo also has a similar problem. People think he's only English, but though he's equally good in Quant DILR also.
ऐसा ही होता है सर. मेरा बीआरसी में सबसे हाईएस्ट आया था.
ठीक है. So we expect you to come out with VRC 1001. ठीक है. चलो.
ठीक है. So that's about it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
We can
So
stop.
before we close, just a couple of things. Just a couple of things. Guys, Race to 99 All India Open Mock will happen in August. If you are eligible for it, please register for it through your aspiration account or through the link, so that you can watch it, you can participate in it for free. Race to 99 has not only the sessions on 14-15 August, there's an open mock also, there are other 15 odd sessions through it also. It is free for all students of Career Launcher who have enrolled in any test series program of 2000 or above, or who's a Career Launcher classroom or online student. Okay, but you have to register for it. Please register for this. Ravi, can you share the link? Okay, please register. Aspiration में है registration का link, Ravi? If the test series students you don't register before 31st July, then you'll have to pay for it. So please register for the program. And this time we are having both online and offline versions. Online will be on 14-15th August. Offline will be held subsequently, and different papers will be discussed. So the content in both the online and offline is going to be different. So भाई लोगों भूल मत जाना. Okay. So Ravi है link मैं डालूं. Okay, Ravi has shared the link. Please go to this link, register if you are a Career Launcher student, and you will get it for free, provided you have enrolled for a test series program, online program, or a classroom program. Okay.
And it will be free only till the 31st of July if you register before that. After that, it is chargeable.
Yes, Kushag Karthik, you can enroll for when you just go to the link which Ravi has shared. It has all the details. Okay, it is online. Online is a different content completely. Offline will be different content. Anish, Ravi, there's a question for you. Since CAT notification released on 31st, we do not know how things will change. Will we still have CDC2 on 30th? Do we
हटा
have
दे क्या?
CDC2 on 30th? I think हटा देते हैं second one. उसको 7th वाले में कर देते हैं, आगे बाद में ऐड कर देंगे. I think there's a valid point. Okay.
Right.
Because we don't know what the paper structure will be. Let's wait for the paper structure and create a paper accordingly.
But the speculations, there are multiple speculations that the paper will be 3 hours or 2 hours. Nothing of that sort has been released as of now. So don't worry. I am guessing it will be probably 2 hours only, because
मेरे
monkeypox
को
is the
भी 2
new
घंटा ही
code.
लगता है. Even I think it's a 2-hour paper. Yes, Vaishali. Okay, Ravi, can you just share एक यार वो पेज खोल के शेयर कर दोगे, दिखा दोगे सबको रेस टू 99 का.
Right.
बहुत सवाल आ रहे हैं. And yes, many of us will be traveling to different cities. It is being conducted in 25 different cities. So hopefully we'll be there in your city as well. just remember, you are eligible for online, offline, both of them. Attend both of them. There will be additional sessions also.
So what you have in house for the race to 99 percentile is the RT99 online workshops that will happen, as well as the 3 All India mock cats and to 6 hours of offline workshops in select cities that we will be doing. And section-wise daily dose will also be included in this particular program if daily dose is not already a part of this program.
Okay. Okay. But Ravi, just go to the top. Upar Jawad. Just go to the top so that they know where they have to register. Yeah. Please register. This is the place where you have to register. And when it says at the bottom, select city for offline workshop, you can choose that. That's an additional thing for people in a select cities. It is not in all cities. It's in about 25 odd cities. Okay. So please register. Don't forget. No,
So
Karthik,
daily dose.
don't. Uh, there's a question from Karthik. Will it be okay to attend only the offline? No. Online, offline, both you should attend, because as I said, both of them will have different content and you will be able to gain from both of them. Secondly, offline, in some cities we'll have all 4 sessions, in some cities we'll have only 1 session, depending upon the structure which is available there. Okay. So online is the complete one, offline is an additional thing. So wherever it is happening, please attend that. If it is not even if it is happening in your city, you should definitely attend the online one. Ravi, question again. Not able to apply through offer being a classroom student. Ravi, they
All
have
right.
classroom students also need to.
Yeah, I'll get this checked if there is any issue in the
Okay, so if
technical
there's
side.
an issue, we'll get it checked. Aspiration account में students के लिए करा दो. Okay.
Yeah.
Others
ठीक
will
है.
get it rectified. Don't worry. Okay. चलो फिर that's it for tonight. And काम पे वापस लग जाते हैं. Okay. So thank you, Siddharth.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
Ravi.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye, Jijo, if you're
Bye.
still there.